How do we get rid of the tipping culture in America?
Nothing short of federal legislation will make a difference. Servers don't want it to go away, especially at higher-end places. You can make a lot of money on tips.
Give cows comfy beds so they don't sleep standing up.
You'd have to get the servers on board. And honestly, good luck with that. Most any place more upscale than a Waffle House. Servers make pretty good money. They like the model the way it is. Edit. Some of you are real pieces of work. You know that.
It's not the server tipping culture I want to change. They seem to prefer it. It's the fact that I'm prompted to leave a tip after pouring myself a cup of coffee out of the AirPod at the cafe across the street, or how I'm prompted to leave a tip before receiving the service, like when I tip DoorDash or Uber Eats 20% so they can just leave my food at some random address. That is the kind of tipping that needs to die off.
Stop tipping unnecessary shit. I refuse to.
Pay decent basic salary, but you'll find those who get tipped better than others don't want it to change.
You don't? The overwhelming majority of servers make way more money with tips than the restaurants would ever. Pay them in wages. I started in a cheap corporate restaurant 10 years ago, and I was making $20, $25 an hour after taxes.
Escaping the tipping culture in America is like trying to unmix a cocktail. One way could be pushing for fair wages for service industry workers. So tipping becomes more of a gesture of appreciation. Rather than a necessity, it's a cultural shift that needs both patrons and businesses to shake things up.
Just stop tipping, I guess. You have all the power.
Simple, don't play, and I don't mean not eating out. Do not tip for services that do not demand a tip. Do not tip at a kiosk that is asking for a tip before service is rendered. Just hit 0.
Stop going to places that require tips. This is the only way employers will change. I hate the tipping culture. I get tipping at sit-down restaurants, but I order a bottled water at Starbucks, and I tip for that. I pick up takeout and am asked to tip. I still do to help the workers. But I'd rather just pay a flat price.
You don't. Short of government intervention, it will never happen. Servers depend on it, and restaurants will never pay, and people won't pay the cost.
Don't frequent places that require tips.
Don't tip unless you have a dedicated server and only after service has been provided. Tipping ahead of service is literally just paying more for the same product and goes against the reason for tipping in the first place. Tipping is meant to show appreciation for exceptional service, which can only be judged once service is complete.
Pay staff enough of a wage that tips are literally just tips and not a means to pay rent.
By refusing to patronize restaurants that pay their servers a tipped wage.
Just don't tip.
Don't tip.